I'm not even gonna bother with getting links out. I'm just going to do this. And if anybody sees, then just whatever. Just sitting here playing games, and I just thought, why not stream for a little bit. Yeah, I want to. First thing I want to do is I want to apologize for not getting I'm not doing Survivor Cheese Dip anymore. I said I'd do it. I wouldn't stop doing it daily until after season 10. The real reason behind me stopping was because I got sick. I think I explained this in the music videos and chill stream that I do not recommend you watch because it was not a very good stream. It was just me laughing for longer than I should be about Roger Taylor's inability to do good acting. I love you, dude. One of my all-time favorite drummers, but you're one of my top 20 favorite drummers. But goodness gracious, that acting is not good. You hear those noises in the background. I'm playing Puyo Puyo, better known in America as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, on my TV. So that's what's going on there. Really hard here in this final level. Okay, well, I lost. One playback, yet nobody, yet no viewers. No. Oh. Dang, that's a high resolution image I got going there. You all are, this was an insanely high, absurdly high res. I mean, like it was like 3,000 something pixels when I download. You can't see it though, because typically I have these settings, I have the settings set to low, so it's not demanding on my internet. Because again, I live at the opposite end of the Wi-Fi router. I could very well now. I haven't been sick for like the past 2 weeks now. About 2 weeks. I got over the sickness about 2 weeks ago. But yeah, so I really have no excuse to not be doing Survivor Cheese Dip. But the simple fact of the matter is that I don't have a reason to not be doing it. But it's just I every time I keep forgetting to do it. That's just it. I'm just me procrastinating, and that's a problem. I don't have. That's my biggest problem in life. If you ask me, I don't have. Oh, sweet! I did it. This is after like 20 attempts. This is me. This is like my biggest problem in life is I don't have drive. Insert the Rock rapping meme here. So, another comment bot. That's what it was. So, yeah. I just keep forgetting, and when I do, it's like, oh, well, that's not a good time. Nobody would watch it. It's like another. The wouldn't be on a time that would necessarily be good for me. Yeah. My brother was having a moment where he's like, "You dense mother effer," in reference to how he thought Charles Bronson was acting in this movie 10 to Midnight Me Today. I don't remember exactly what the context was, but he's I guess I really am that dense. Yeah. Wow, final level things are falling so fast, and I guess I'm used to it by now, but still, just Yeah, it's the same. His strategy's very ballsy. Okay. And I'm on the final boss here, I think, and Puyo Puyo on the SNES. I really hope they'd add Kirby's Avalanche to NSO, but seems like they won't because Puyo Puyo is similar. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, it seems to have resolved itself. I was really hoping that like they'd add Kirby's Avalanche to the Nintendo Switch Online SNES thing, but it doesn't seem like they will because they have Puyo Puyo and Kirby's Avalanche are just the same game. Just one was marketed. It was Kirby's Avalanche is just a reskin of Puyo Puyo to be not excessively Japanese. No offense to you, Rio, if you're watching, but I can only take so much Japanese before I go crazy. I don't want to say this, but I'm not. I don't want to say this for fear of sounding like a deflection, but I am not a weeaboo, and there's a difference actually. Looking into Marty Friedman has kind of taught me that there is a difference between weeaboos and Japanophiles. Marty Friedman is a Japanophile, someone who has assimilated into the Japanese culture seamlessly and accepted it as a part of their new being. Other examples of a Japanophile would be like not just former Megadeth guitarist Marty Friedman, but David Lee Roth is a Japanophile. He lives over there in Japan. The average Japanophile isn't going to have like tentacle porn on their phone or something like that. They're going to actually just be pretty normal dudes and seem completely mentally stable as well. In fact, like over in Japan, Marty Friedman is rightfully respected as a god of the guitar, which he is. It's just don't know why we don't see him as such here. One of the greatest guitarists coming out of like the 1980s American guitar virtuoso boon, which gave us shit. Sorry about that. I don't like to cuss typically, but final boss really making me upset here. But like that 80s virtuoso boon gave us so many people. Like Vinnie Moore is like one of the more long lasting. Is like one of the more. He's kind of. Oh, sweet, I won. He's kind of a little more. He's a little more unspoken out of all the people from that scene, but he's one of the most long lasting. Still having a stable gig in UFO. Who was one of the guys from UFO died recently, I believe. Whoa! Surprise, final boss. Okay, let's do this. Or maybe there's like more to this than I thought. Music is totally a vibe, though. Other people who came out of that scene were Yngwie Malmsteen after he relocated to America. Got really huge in the big booming virtuoso scene. In fact, he's probably perhaps like one of the one of the most famous examples. Okay, I think I turned this around. Watch me totally jinx that. Y'all aren't watching, but I'm gonna totally jinx that. Who's that? Oh God, no. Oh, okay. Typically, I used to not play video games during these for reasons like this, but nah, whatever. Nobody watches these anyways. So yeah, that So, it was Steve Vai. There we go. That's another one. Oh, crap. Steve Vai was another famous example. Ironically, both like two of the biggest guitar virtuosos to gain prominence in the 80s. Steve Vai and Yngwie Malmsteen both got their start in the Graham Bonnet fronted band Alcatraz, which is great, by the way. They're still making albums. No, they don't have a awesome shredding guitar virtuoso doing things anymore, sadly. But, oh well. The guy they have now is good. Graham Bonnet's no longer in it. They kicked him out in December of 2020, only like months after releasing it. Their big like first album since like '86. Graham Bonnet has said he's working with Arch Enemy's Jeff Loomis, who is I'm going to tell you right now is a way more talented guitarist than the guy they have now. No offense to the guy they have now, Joe Stump, but Jeff Loomis is better. So I have hope that whatever album they do that's supposed to be released this year is going to be just as good, if not better. Though that last album they did with the new singer Doogie White really impressed me. Did not expect it to be anywhere near as good as it would be. But man, I stand completely corrected. Oh my gosh, another level, and dang, everything's going so fast now. I don't even have time to react. It's all like all the little things are falling from like there's like less than a second amount of like time it takes for them to like between like them falling and reaching the reaching the floor. Anyways, back to my Japanophile thing was again this is just me getting completely sidetracked. Ugh. This whole no more cheese dip thing was supposed to be just for a meme, and dang it. And I kept it because I've just been too lazy to change anything back to the thing. And another difference is that Japanophiles, a weeb, would focus on like the weird aspects of Japanese culture. The anime, the fact that Japan was like a country full of samurais, that kind of stuff. Whereas me, like I just like a lot of my favorite quite a few of my favorite bands are Japanese hard rock and heavy metal bands, like Shoya, Seikimatu, Anthem, X Japan. Oh, crud. This round. Hopefully. Oh, dang it. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm setting up my own EMM radio, so I want to point out. I want to point out. It's just for me, nobody else. It's my own EMM radio. It's a playlist of tracks I think would be featured on EMM radio if it was a real station. It's mainly just to listen to while I work on Three of a Perfect Pair. I also want to announce that Landon, the man behind the Through the Years podcast, and perhaps the biggest supporter of my channel, rivaled only by my brother David, is doing the theme song. Is going to be doing the theme song for Three of a Perfect Pair. I was using a public domain song that was just like free. Just beat the level. That's free for me to use so long as I credited the guy who created it. And now I got my own. And now I'm going to get my own theme song. He said he's got time. He's going to give clear time. He's going to have time this week. He's going to clear out that time in his schedule to work on the Three of a Perfect Pair theme song. So look forward to that. That's one of the delays. I began work on this new Three of a Perfect Pair episode, but I've done the bare minimum. I've just animated the first 30 seconds. I've just animated the first 30 seconds. and doing it's been fun. As I said in that one like update stream I did back in like November, I think it was. I beat Puyo Puyo. Nice. Need some controllers down. My hands are cold. Right, the coldest room in the house. Oh, it becomes the coldest room in the house during winter. It's my bedroom for you. Okay. So as I said in my update stream in November, I I want to keep doing Theory of a Perfect Pair as long as I enjoy doing it. Whereas like Luke Skywalker's Adventures on Earth, it seemed like it was starting to become a bit of a chore to do it. Like at the moment, like I could very well still be doing it now. Well, imagine how that'd look. I'm an adult now. I'd be playing with my toys. I'm an adult now in a neighborhood that's only known me for a couple years because I've moved since then. Since I made Luke Skywalker's Adventures, and I'd just be a grown man playing with toys in front of a camera. I could end up being one of those guys who makes a living doing it like Super Mario Logan and then get a cease and desist, and struggle to make my own original characters and lose almost all my original audience in the process. But, I don't. The thing is that YouTube is an idea. Never. Oh, my record's here. I'm gonna wait till I get to the final level, see how long it took me to beat those. So, the YouTube is never intended to have been like a full-time thing for me, or is never intended to be like a full-time thing for me, or something I want to do in the future as a job. Though back when I was 13, doing Luke Skywalker's Adventures full-time was my dream job. But things are different. It's now that I've gotten older and matured a bit, I can look back on that stuff and I can look back on some of the cringier aspects of Luke Skywalker's Adventures and laugh. I can look back on that and laugh, like, oh man. And just know that at the very least, that's me having fun. Everything you see in Luke Skywalker's Adventures is just me having fun. Finish Satan? What does that mean? Okay. So, I can look back on that and laugh and know that, everything you see on there. Oh, they want me to play with no continues before I to find the true final boss? No way. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up some Pikmin 3. Nice casual thing to. I don't want to do this. So, Theory of a Perfect Pair is never meant to act as like a replacement for. It was never meant to act as a replacement for Luke Skywalker's Adventures. A streamer I like was doing a 3D Movie Maker stream where he's just messing around with it, and then he was coming up with just random ideas, making stuff up as he went along. And it ended up becoming like one of his biggest live streams, and he ended up carrying it on for like 12 parts of streams that ranged from live streams that ranged from 2 hours to like 6 or 7 hours, and he's spent a lot of time and effort really trying to get the streams out there to basically just finish this movie that is Vine Sauce Joel is the guy's name. He's you can find the You can find the little movie he did. It's called like Blue Shell Incident, I think. And seeing that made me want to try it out on my own, but I didn't have a computer, and so like even after I got a computer, I didn't think to do it because my interest had kind of faded in doing my own project, 3D Movie Maker. It just kind of wasn't there by the time I had my interest in doing something with a 3D Movie Maker just kind of wasn't even there. Until another YouTuber I like was doing a video where he had gotten a copy of 3D Movie Maker on disc, and it's like, oh hey, why don't we try out 3D Movie Maker? And it was fine. It was fine. He didn't. The thing he did was I didn't think was terribly funny. The little movie he did in there, but no, I didn't. I didn't. I don't. I still don't. I still don't think the first episode of Three of a Perfect Pair is terribly funny. If I'm being honest, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of that first episode. Like, it's like kind of like how I don't like kind of like how I like Friends reasonably well, but I don't like that first episode, the pilot. I'm turning this down. This is gonna get distracting. I like Friends, but I don't like that pilot episode. Or the pilot episode of Seinfeld didn't really sell me on Seinfeld, but I've grown to think Seinfeld is better than Friends. I've become one of those heathens. And so it's really just been a work in so with having watched the first episode and showing it to people and realizing aspects I didn't like about it, showing it to people, I'm like, man, I really made this. I'm not like the biggest fan of this. If a YouTuber I like had if a YouTuber I like or not a YouTuber, if I found this on YouTube, I wouldn't. It got to the point I thought like, if I watched this on YouTube, I'd click away from this, thinking like, man, this isn't that funny. I want to necessarily like make the even if it was YouTuber I like, I don't think I'd watch it even then because I don't think it's all that funny. But it's humor subjective. Humor subjective and all that yada yada whatever. So I really wanted to kind of make something that carried on, like that had like my little bit of my spirit and energy in there, kind of like what, in all honesty, kind of like what Luke Skywalker's Adventures did. Like that was like one. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Luke Skywalker's Adventures in Earth. I can appreciate it because that's just pure unadulterated me, and for better and for worse. The Luke Skywalker's Adventures in Earth contains a lot of the best and worst parts about me, of the time frame it was made, and in a way, Three of a Perfect Pair contains that too. It's not in no way is the show like meant to be a reflection of myself, but as I keep working on it, and as I keep working on, do more with it, it grows to become that. And that's not my decision. That's not my choice. It's just it's just what's happened. I shared around with all my friends, and they didn't like it. I have to accept the fact that I'm not gonna make something. I'm not like any of my friends in most regards. I'm not. And, I just had to accept that they won't like this. And like a big reason why my brothers and like my dad like it is because, it's like they want to support me. That's the biggest. And Landon, like it's just they want to support me. They want to see whatever I do succeed because they want to see it succeed because I'm putting my effort into. I'm I'm throwing my whole self into it, That I threw my whole self into that first episode. I toiled away for a week, just so tiringly, without much rest. I stayed up late nights up until like 4 or 5 in the morning, working on it. I worked hard on that. I threw my entire self into it. And I'm proud of the fact that I did it. At the very least, it's like I worked hard on that. I worked hard to earn it, to get that to the point as to be as any even to get that as good as it was. I had to work hard to get it like that. It's really I don't think that it's like the best thing I've done or like even up there. Like I still I don't even think like the more recent episodes are all that great either because it's watch them and it's like, oh man, I'm always like being, I kind of think kind of like how when I read an interview with a musician I like and he's like, oh man, and his art of he's like kind of like how I'm reading it like when I read an interview with Paul Stanley about Music from the Elder, one of my favorite Kiss albums. It's I hear him go like, oh, and that album sounds like a bad Genesis album. It doesn't sound like Kiss at all. But I love it. And like even like or like when you or like when one of your favorite directors or talks about like a movie you really like that they did, and like, oh man, I can't stand it because so and so. Like we could have done this. It could have been so much better. And then it's like, oh, but I like the finished product. And it's like, yeah, good if you do, but like I've grown. I never really figured out like where people were coming from with that, but I I never really figured out where they were coming from, where like artists were coming from with that. But now I've kind of learned now that like making Three of a Perfect Pair, and even to a lesser extent, Luke Skywalker's Adventures on Earth. I just wanted to get Luke Skywalker's Adventures on Earth out there. That was the point. I didn't want to try and perfect it or do. I there was no quality control in that on Luke Skywalker's Adventures on Earth. I want to get that out there right now. Whereas there is at least a level of quality control in Three of a Perfect Pair. There is some level of quality control. I'm controlling, whereas like I'm in control over like a good portion of just what exactly is happening in the series. And well, okay, this isn't. Sorry, I'm struggling to think of words here. This is not a good time to do this, but I'm not in like the best mindset to be doing this, but whatever. So it's not like there wasn't a level of quality control earlier with like any of my earlier stuff, like Luke Skywalker's Adventures in Earth, but I mean like I'm really, and it's not like that was impulsive in the moment compared to Three of a Perfect Pair. It's a little more thought out. Granted, I don't script it. My brother razzes me for not scripting it, but I really don't want to. I really think that it's better without a script. Like a show him and my other brother like in the home movies. That's a great show, and none of that, no episode in the series is scripted. They just let the actors have free reign to say whatever it is they wanted. And that was a little bit of my inspiration to not script Three of a Perfect Pair when I decided I really wanted to kind of overhaul it after that first episode and really make it more focused. and three perfect pairs is it's a passion project. It's not something I'm doing for anyone else. It's not something I'm doing for anyone else. I'm not doing Three of a Perfect Pair I'm not doing Three of a Perfect Pair because I want people to like it, or I want people to like what I'm doing, or I want the views. I'm doing Three of a Perfect Pair because doing it for me. I want it to be the Eric show. Like it's my show. It's my show. I'm the creative head behind it. It's all me. You know, except Landon as the EMM radio announcer. That's not me, obviously. It's him. And like the theme song he's gonna be doing. It's me. It's the show is very much my thing. But a little help from my friends and such. Like I had a friend do the voice of that flight stewardess there. And Three of a Perfect Pair is kind of, I was going to back when I had initially planned out like to try and I wanted to see about getting like a whole cast of my friends to. I wanted to see about getting an entire like big cast of several of my friends to do it, to just like do like the voice of maybe Johnny, Serena. I had planned to introduce Serena for a while, but I just didn't know how. And I was gonna have a friend voice Serena, but she actually she's dead. It's YouTube's not receiving enough. What's going on here? Program's running stably. I don't know what's going on. Viewers will experience buffering. Well, Bot Hezek Visiop, you got to experience this with okay. 10:14, there's no data. What? I try to keep it at a stable 2,500, and it appears to be running it. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, it's running a little bit under the 2,500. It's running between 2,300 and 25. It's running between 2,300 and 2,600. I'm trying to keep it at a stable. Okay, that's fine. She had passed away recently. I think it was of cancer, but I'm not 100% sure what happened. I'm not 100% sure of what exactly it was that happened. All I know is that she's, regardless of what happened, she's gone now, and I can't change that. I know she wasn't particularly happy, and I know she wasn't particularly happy during her final years. But yeah, it's. I'm sorry, this is getting serious now. The more serious I intended it to. She was nice. Yeah, and I hadn't talked to her in a while. In the time leading up to her passing, we spoke a little bit, like just a simple hi, hello, and it's like, oh, you and I know she has a history. She has a history of she had a history of brash behavior, and she began distancing herself from people, and I'd asked if she was okay, if she wanted to. She said, I'm fine. And my biggest regret is not being there. I should have asked what was going on. I had the I'm being very serious here, and these comment bots. I'm being very serious here on the stream, and these comment bots are messing with me. I apologize for that. Just ignore them when you watch this back. I want to apologize for my silence there. My brother just walked in, didn't want to. Anyways, my biggest regret is not doing anything. The word I feel much more bad for. I feel much worse for what I didn't say, and I feel much worse for what I didn't say in comparison to what I could have said and what anything bad I did say to her in the past. Because I could have known what was happening, what was wrong. Now, I want to be a caring friend, but I want to be a caring friend. But the simple fact of the matter is that nobody likes opening up to me. I don't want to pull. I'm a nice guy. I deserve to get the woman. Like the whole "are nice guys" meme or whatever. But I wish I could have said something and asked how she was doing, how are things going? Are you doing okay? Is there anything I could do for you? But no, just said hi. I asked you. I should have. I didn't want to press in case something was going on because you never do know what a person is. Oh crap! You never do know what a person is going through. And that's like what the Depeche Mode song "Walking in My Shoes" is about. But but it's fine. What's done is done. But if I could go back and change things, I would. But I'm not entirely. I don't think I'll ever be entirely satisfied with how things went. But I just got to live with the fact that that's how they went. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna lighten the mood after talking about something so downer. So, gosh, yeah. Guys, I'm really sorry. I killed the mood. In the words of Freddie Mercury, you had to go and kill the conversation. So, well, I might as well change the subject to something I know is more cheerful. Lego Star Wars. I'm just, the new Lego Star Wars is it's not been announced. We've known about the existence of this new Lego Star Wars for a while, but they're completely overhauling even like Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. My dad had got it on sale at Black Friday or something, and being the big Star Wars fan, I still like The Force Awakens. I want to get that out there, regardless of my qualms with the new Star Wars movies, I want to get, I want to be known that I still like The Force Awakens. So, anyways, The Force Awakens is good. I still like it. Yada yada. Insert thing about insert comment about about no, I think of the crappy Ryan Johnson one. So, anyways, yeah, they overhauled the combat in this one completely. It's so interesting. It's so surreal because even like again, like a Star Wars Force Awakens, my dad got on Black Friday on Xbox One. He has an Xbox One. That's I can play whenever I'm over there. It's fun. I haven't got the chance to play the last couple times I've been over there, which I can count the amount of times I've been over there the past. I can count the amount of times I've been over there. The past few years on my hands, on like one of my on just one of my hands, which is funny. So the combat in there is very like, despite the fact that like they've added voice acting and so much, they've added voice acting and so much more. Despite the fact that they've added voice acting and so much more stuff to this one, it's to that one. It's still at its core, it still feels like Lego Star Wars. It still feels like it. It has the carries the heart of the series and everything. I mean, just Traveler's Tales is a developer with just a very good reputation of. I don't want to go like, oh, reputation of Traveler's Tales is the reputation of excellence, but they have a good reputation. They're a good, reputable studio. And they care about the source material. It's clear. I mean, just watching that, I mean, the game just looks outstanding. They've completely overhauled the combat to something that's actually, weirdly enough, to me, anyways, reminiscent of to me, anyways, reminiscent of Hyrule Warriors. Like with it's just like the whole strong attack, light attack system. It's the whole strong attack, light attack system they have in place that reminds me of it. And they've added like the characters with guns now do third-person shooting, which is a neat addition. I mean, just the whole game looks stellar. And I can't get over this. You can go I missed the. I mean, sure. I want to get this out of the way first. Nothing is going to replace the complete saga and those first two games. Nothing will. I want to get that out of the way right now. I mean, like, there's a part of it just because, again, those games are so simple. It's just that those games were so simple. The combat was something so easy a kid could master it. You know, Lego games are always outstanding. Like, you know, a lot of people most people, one of your YouTubers, Panels to Pixels, said Lego Avengers is the best. Lego said that Lego Avengers is the best MCU based video game. And you know, I can wholly understand why you'd say that, because I mean, just look at it. You've seen it. If you looked at it, it's again, Traveler's Tales loves the source material. And I can't. But okay, I want to get back to this. Another example is like why those first two won't be are irreplaceable. It's just the fact that they ditch these. They're all connected. All the levels are connected through a very simple hub world. And I do mean simple. This hub world is basic. It's just simple cantina. You go from one room to another, and the complete saga. And I'm glad the complete saga added a new vehicle level that for the episode 2 portion of the game, because the original actually is a level short. It's typically it's 6 levels, but in both the first two for each Star Wars movie. But it's in there for episode 2. It's just 5. So it's nice to see it's nice to see them add that, and the fact new characters, new bonus missions and content to unlock as well. And just that complete saga is great, and just the first 2 are as well. I don't know if this is a feature on either of the GameCube entries. I don't know if this is a feature. I know this is a feature on the GameCube entries. I don't know if it was on the PS2 entries, but you could, if you beat, I believe Indiana Jones is an unlockable character in the first one or in the complete saga, because like it has a cross from, because George Lucas was heavily in whatever. It was heavily involved in Indiana Jones, and so and they were making Lego Indiana Jones, and so like I think to unlock him in the GameCube, once I recall, is a bonus for the thing I'm about to talk about. If you had beaten a Lego Star Wars 1, and you had a copy of Lego Star Wars 2, Lego Star Wars 1 gave you the option to play as any of the characters you had unlocked in Lego Star Wars 1 in Lego Star Wars 2. However, only the characters you've already unlocked. So it wouldn't let you play like the entire roster of Lego Star Wars 1 unless you'd already beaten it. I don't think either of the first 2 Lego Star Wars games had even 100, had like up to 100, had 100 characters. I don't think any of like the 4 Lego Star Wars games you've had have had 100 characters. Now I know for a fact that this new one's going to have like 300 plus characters, so I hope this means like everybody, no matter how minor, is going to everybody from the previous entries who is playable, no matter how minor, is going to be a playable character. I hope, and there's skill trees added too. They're going full in depth here. This is no longer just a simple kids beat 'em up action platformer. This is now like this game has now become like a full on like epic third person semi open world action game. Like there's so many cool open world stuff to. Oh shoot! I'm just gonna turn this off right now. That's a distraction. There's so much cool open world action stuff to do between the levels. You can go to all these different planets, enter from the atmosphere, go in your ship, go into the atmosphere, and then like pick another planet to go to, hyperspace travel to that planet, and then you get to go F around in the atmosphere until you want to land. That's just so cool. No Star Wars game except what was it, Battlefront Elite Squadron, which was I'll get into that here in a sec. Well, lets you play around in your ship, going from the atmosphere to the surface, and vice versa. That is so cool. Just looks like it could be a very well Game of the Year contender, and I hope so. They never want to give Lego games a Game of the Year nomination because those are games geared towards kids, no matter how amazing they are. I have to turn my TV off. I'm not using it. So, I don't think they're working on a Battlefront 3. They wanted to move the DICE wanted to work on a Battlefront 2042. I think 2045. I think, and it's not. It's not. From what I understand, it's a bit of a dumpster fire. They fixed it up, but you know, when a lot of people, I know, like a lot of people like to say that Shigeru Miyamoto quote of a delayed game can eventually be good, a rushed game is forever bad. Doesn't apply anymore because you can just update and fix a game, and like Battlefront 2, for example. And yeah, sure, but I thought about that quote, sure, and like a lot of people pulling that quote apart, but I think that in a way it still applies because first impressions can be everything. And the bad first impression people got from Battlefield 2045 has irreparably damaged the game's reputation to a point where it hasn't gotten. It will never get it'll never reach the numbers it should have reached because the game should have been delayed and not released as a buggy mess. And Battlefront 2, even though Battlefront 2 is great and everything, everyone's like, man, Battlefront 2 was one of the biggest what if stories in gaming. The new Battlefront 2, but it's so good. Now it's everything we wanted it to. Now the Battlefront 2 is everything we wanted it to be. It's finally lived up to that after so long. But again, even though they fixed it and made it everything it was supposed to be and more, there are some people who will never give it a chance because they don't want to support EA, the loot boxes, and all that. They don't want to see this game. They don't want to even support the game because of what just happened at launch. And there's some people who won't give it a second chance because of that stigma is still there. Whereas if it wasn't even there in the first place, more people would be playing the game now. Well, I fully believe no matter what DICE does, it'll never be able to beat what Free Radical is working on with Battlefront 3. Now they were working on Battlefront 3, and it was going to have like big 100 versus 100 person online combat and combat with online functionality available. It was going to be great. It was going to have like this new big mode where you can go in your ships and you can find ships in the ground and go up to the surface and go up to the atmosphere and fight in a space fight to take down the enemy's flagship. And if you take down the enemy's flagship, then that's gonna be like a big. And if you take down the enemy's flagship, that's going to have like all enemy resources. Oh, sure, but you have to take down both. But I mean, like, you have to take down both, sure. But it's like, you have to take down I think actually I don't think you had to. I think you had to just take down the stuff on the ground. And I know that, and I know that a lot of people are still trying to recreate this with Battlefront 2's engine. There's a big project about that you can probably go look up yourself, but it was canceled because it was underestimated. You can find lots of footage. You can even find lots of footage of the game in beta and alpha phases. It was really far into development when it's canceled. It was just the game was. If the game was finished and given its proper due, it could have very well been not Call of Duty, a CS:GO styled Star Wars game. Uh-oh. Okay. Said no data for a second. I got real worried. I'm like, oh, but no, stream's healthy. Around the same time they were developing Battlefront 3, they were developing a CS:GO style Star Wars gritty Star Wars game where it's like a team of like 5 or 6 rebels pitted against a team like 5 or 6 stormtroopers. Looked like a neat idea, but again, it's one of the Star Wars games got canceled. They're making a PSP port of Battlefront 3. KBPS is dropping a little lower than what it should be. They're making a PS3 port of Battlefront 3, and as well to coincide along with the DS version to coincide alongside with the console release. And whereas it developed by another studio, and whereas the console one got canceled because of the problems with the developer Free Radical. Let me look up Free Radical. Free Radical game development studio. They're still around. Okay, only 100. Oh, it was a revival. Okay. Wow, the game was supposedly 99% complete. And it sent the game. Their publishing partner canceled the game as 99% complete, and this led to the company going bankrupt after the failure of their game. After the previous game, Haze, was failing, and they went to bankruptcy while making a remake of of the N64 classic GoldenEye 007. I think the original founders have revived the studio though. So and I want just to let you know, this is the same company that made the Time Splitters games. Oh, also made the Crysis games sequels. That's neat. Oh, and they're working on a new Time Splitters with Deep Silver. Okay, things are looking pretty promising. But yeah, the game was canceled by their publisher, and the other studio and they were losing money fast because the game's cancellation really hurt the company. So the people making the PSP and the DS port, their version wasn't canceled. So the game got released, and I really hope some guy just leaks like a beta or alpha of Battlefront 3 if it was 99% complete on the internet, and then some of the great and talented Battlefront 2 modders out there finish it. I really hope to see it happen one day. Getting sidetracked. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is Battlefront 3, the PSP and DS ports of Battlefront 3 were released. The PSP version, the DS version just being a decent Star Wars top-down action game with wave-based combat, and the PSP one being a really solid, solid. It does a lot of the cool ideas Battlefront 3 promised, just on a smaller scale. Like again, there still is the ambitious surface to atmosphere, big, huge battles. They're still there, just in a smaller scale. You can still go from like the battles still work the same, and like the go from the surf, find a ship on the surface, you can go to the atmosphere and fight in the aerial dogfight and whatnot, and fight against the enemy ship and whatnot, and infiltrate the enemy ship as a ground class person for spawning on the surface. They can still do all that, which is cool, and vice versa even. Which is sad, and it's still cool that Battlefront 3, in a way, is still playable and fully realized. So a lot of people don't know about it. Granted, from what I understand, it is the most divisive. Some say out of the two original PSP, I say original because meaning not counting the Battlefront 2 port. Some say it's the best Battlefront port. Some say it's the best Battlefront on PSP. Some say it's better than Elite Squadron. Others because Elite Squadron went in less of a class-based system and more of a equipment-based weapon system, which is kind of like what Battlefront DICE 2015 did. Excuse me. But Elite Squadron just seems really cool. So some say it's better, some say it's worse. It's the game's story is weird. Apparently, it's the same as it would have been on the console version, but it has like the most thought out story of any Battlefront, which I guess is an accomplishment. Supposedly, it's even better than Battlefront 2, like 2018, Battlefront 2017. The DICE Battlefront 2 story. Supposedly, it's even better than that, even though this story has its own share problems. So it's fun. LucasArts is canceling a lot of games. Like, they canceled Factor 5, the company that made my favorite Star Wars game series, Rogue Squadron, wanted to make a Darth Vader-based Star Wars Dark Squadron game for the GameCube based on like the Darth Vader levels, bonus levels they put in Rogue Squadron 2. But oh, I got a stomachache. Oh. But it was canceled in favor of a Chewbacca game explaining the story before he met Han Solo. But George Lucas himself canceled that game, saying and asked, why do we need to know what Chewie was doing between like episodes 3 and 4? Why is that like a huge deal? We don't need to see that. And the game, I have no doubt, like, had George not canceled the Chewbacca game, it would have been cool. And I get it, LucasArts didn't want to fund too many projects at once because being reckless with their money is stupid. But, I think that had they chosen Star Wars Dark Squadron instead, that game would have been released and would have been awesome. Because it seemed like it would have been much more tactical than Rogue. We would have added a tactical element that wasn't there in Rogue Squadron 1, 2, or 3. I don't want to have to end the stream so soon without like much conclusion, but I really got to use the bathroom. I had to go before I did, so I'm gonna hold it in, but it's starting to get pretty bad. So this got kind of sad in places, but I want you all to stay positive. Listen to Asia, the John Wetton era, John Payne era. I don't care, and go seize the day and live out your extraordinary life, okay? Have a great rest of your day, and hallelujah. Merry January, whatever. Okay.